I was not like, you know, you left because of all of this, then you don't want to come back. As why? As hey, Omega me. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today is a very special day because I have a special guest here with me, my amazing husband, and we're going to take you guys on a journey through our long distance marriage. It hasn't been an easy ride, but we're excited to share our story, the challenges we faced, and how we made it work. For those that know me, you know that I came into Canada September 9th last year, or I left Germany September 9th last year, and it's going to be a year that I got here now. And I just want to talk about, you know, our challenges and the things that, you know, we've been through. So welcome Mr. Lekon to my chat. This is the first time he's featuring, you know, full time, and he doesn't like the camera, but I intend to bring him here more often as I can because he has a lot of things to share with you guys. So yeah, introduce yourself.
So my name is Lekon.
Okay, short. Nice to have you here. So before we get into, you know, the nitty-gritty of, you know, our long distance marriage, could you, you know, share some background on why, you know, we had a long distance 2 years marriage?
Yes, talking about the long distance relationship, it was due to, should I call it circumstances, should I call it due to different factors, which ambition, due to different factors. After we got married, I was pursuing, I'm an academic person, I love reading, I like doing a lot of research. So after we got married, during the same period, I had a PhD admission in United States. So since I was in Germany, which is not an English speaking country, I thought maybe if I go, maybe let me go to United States. United States, they call it was one of the biggest countries in the world. So I just went it for the PhD. So like that's one of the reasons why I thought it was going to be short, maybe going to the United States, and my wife's going to join me some weeks, some one time. But nature has the way of doing things, like, and it went for as long as we couldn't.
25 months, guys. Yeah. Okay. So the next thing is I'm going to ask you is communication. You know, communication is key in, you know, every relationship, you know, but at least especially in long distance relationship, it is more crucial. So could you share some communication strategies that worked for us when, you know, we were apart?
Yeah, talking about communication, like one of the most important things in human interaction and human relationship is communication. Sometimes it's not about your personality, it's not about how fluent you can speak, but your human communication goes a long way.
That's right. And
that's one of the best characteristics of you being a good leader. So talking about communication in marriages is one of the key things which is very important. It was quite tough. Yeah. No. Yeah. My wife was in Germany and I was in United States Central Time, which is like, is this 5 hours?
Yeah, sometimes five, sometimes 6. 5 to 6
hours. Yeah. Yes, I think 5 to 6 hours. So, you know, anything you want to do, you just have to, you have to have 2 clocks. You need to have the recent time and you have to have the other time. So the communication was quite tough. When I'm busy in the morning, they are busy maybe sleeping or doing something else. When I'm meant to be sleeping, that's when I'm up for calling. So it was quite challenging, you know, doing a lot of video calls. You know, there's nothing like human, like, but we thank God, like, we just have to thank God for that we're able to go through it, you know.
Yeah, thank God for WhatsApp.
Yeah, thank God for WhatsApp. Thank God for good internet, you know. Yeah, good internet.
Yeah.
It's quite challenging. You know?
Yeah.
I don't know how. Well, I don't know how I was able to survive it.
Yeah. Because I remember my sister-in-law, you know, she was always saying that she doesn't know how, you know, how we did it, because she would have, you know, made a drastic decision. Because when I'm supposed to be sleeping, you are awake. When you're supposed to be sleeping, I'm awake. When you're at work, I am probably, you know, tending to the child, and, you know, it was just, it was everywhere. It was everywhere. But I think we made a conscious effort to always, you know, speak during, as in every day. You know, there were times where it would call me and it would be like maybe after school hours, like 5 or 6, which is almost like 11 p.m. 12 a.m. German time, and I would be sleeping, or I'll be preparing to sleep, you know, maybe when Demilade was sleeping, and most times you know, I've dozed off and it's still on the call, and we have to just call the call and continue the next morning, or you know, it was just everywhere. Did we try to see?
Yes, there were several times that
we tried
we tried opportunity, you know, after my wife applied for the US visa and she didn't get the US visa twice.
Yeah,
it was so painful, and you keep wondering that how long am I going to stay like this?
Yeah.
There was a time I was applying for a German visiting visa. I know I was going to get it. I was a resident in Germany for like 2 years, so but it's like I'm in the middle of a research, a PhD student doing some crazy research, doing some courses, doing a lot of things. Like, well, my wife just told me that you don't need it. Don't go ahead with the German.
Because go on.
It got to a stage that I wanted to even terminate the program. Why don't I go back to Germany? What's the point of doing a PhD and you're not with your family and happy, a lot of things.
Yeah, newly wedded.
And there was a time too that we're trying to get a visa to United Kingdom. I've already started the application, but I was told that you need to do your biometrics preferably 3 months before travel. And I think I had like 8 months space, so I had to request for a refund and some other thing. My wife and my child too were trying to go to the UK, but I just said you just have to keep pushing that. You know, and thinking of every other thing, that was one of the reasons I just thought of, oh, since United States is quite solved with immigration and everything, why don't we go for Canada?
We also tried to apply to Canada, but they didn't respond to me.
Yes, that was in December 2020.
2021. Was it 2020?
2020, but it was in the middle of COVID, so the Canada visa application was down, like it was a total shutdown. Nobody from outside Canada was being approved to any visa or anything. So then the application was just like a dead application, like a pending application. So we tried Canada, we tried United States, we tried Germany, but
I remember the day you told me that you wanted to come back to Germany. Hey, I said lie. Kamari, you left here because your school, it was in Hamburg, right? University of Hamburg, Affen City, is that how it is called? Affen City University. So you know, too many, like you said, too many circumstances happened that made him leave. You know, there was no proper research for his course in Germany. I was trying to apply for a job, for an internship, he didn't get it, you know. Then it was also the language. My school, you know, allowed us to learn the language, but his didn't. So I had the opportunity. I understand German, you know. I might not be able to speak so much, but I understand a little bit of it, at least up until A2. You know, A2. I read it to A2. So it was not like, I was not like, you know, you left because of all of this, then you don't want to come back. As why? Hey, me. Like, anyway, I understand that a lot of people wanted him to visit, like he earlier said, but he wasn't going to be able because he was in the middle of research. You know, like your husband is not going to come and see you. You're pregnant. You're alone. You are this. You need the support. You need all of that. And you know, we understood the end goal for all of this. So I was like, okay, yeah, that he's busy. He's busy. I had friends that like lie you that they won't be able to do that. That they cannot, you know, do all of this, you know, alone. It's not something that anybody should do alone. It's not something that anybody should do alone. But and then we applied to the US twice. The first time I went, the person said that we just got married and he just left. You know, I think it was like a week after he left, or there about 2 weeks, or a week or 2 weeks after he left. And they were like, we got married last week. He left this week, and I'm applying. You know, so it was like it feels so, you know, doctored that, you know, it was an arranged marriage, which was understandable. But these people, they don't have sense anyway. It was understandable, but then you denied me. I just, okay, I understand. Then we went back. That was in September. August, I think. They went back in October, and that was the one that I was like, I cried there. My friend Issy went with me and Olumide. I cried as soon as I came out. Like, they gave me, I said no. I just started crying. I was like, I knew I was going to break down. The first time I was like, whatever. US, they denied me once in 2018, but I cried and cried and cried, and Leko called and said I was crying, and he was so mad, and he called the US embassy, because I think the consulate in Germany, that what was the reason, what excuse did you guys have? And they said that because I was running my masters, that I was in Europe basically, and I would survive, that I can do without a husband here, you know. And I cried and cried and cried. I don't want to do it alone, you know. But they didn't even, you know, they didn't even answer me. Then Canada, they've not answered me since 2020 till today. They virtually answered him, I think 2 years after he applied, but they've not even answered. They didn't even answer my visiting till today, and this is like 3 years after. Then, like you said, we wanted to try the UK, and the UK was just doing sege. Anyway, okay, so I'm going to be asking you now, yeah, what are the important lessons that you've learned, you know, that would also help other couples that are into the long distance marriage?
Well, there are a lot of lessons learned. One of the important lessons I believe you learn is for you to believe in yourself, believe in your partner.
Yeah.
Before marrying the person, I guess you guys must have agreed to believe and understand each other.
Yeah.
During the process, you get a lot of advice.
Hey, this one. Oh God.
A lot of advice. A lot of.
Do you want to share? Do you want to share some of the crazy things that you heard?
I don't really want to go deep. A lot of comparison. People will start telling you.
Oh my God.
When Mr. A left his wife in Nigeria for 2 weeks, Mr. A started doing this. They started having issues.
Yeah.
A lot of people are going to give you a lot of examples.
Yeah.
Like if 10 people are discussing with you, 8 people are going to give you bad example. They're going to portray bad things to you.
That's right.
Now, do you know what your wife is doing over there? Do you know what your husband is doing over there? It's only 2 that's going to tell you that just believe, just be focused and everything. So the most important thing is for you to know where you're going to, your end goal. Irrespective of believing God, irrespective of your religion or whatsoever, irreligious or whatsoever, believe in God. Just believe, like try and be more of a listener when people are advising you. You know, listening, but don't take actions, because like I said, over like 8 out of 10 people, 8 people are going to give you bad example. I
feel like you need to tell them 1 or 2, Joe.
No, I don't want to go deep.
I will say my own. I
don't want to go deep. A lot of people will tell you a lot of things, like
crazy things.
For those that know about United States, they know that the immigration in the United States is quite tough.
Yep.
And one of the means of someone to survive while going to the United States and become a legal permanent resident is to get married with someone.
Yeah.
So there were a lot of people that say, "Oh, why did you declare married before coming? Why don't you leave your wife? Why don't you get someone to get married?
Yeah.
This and that, you know." Yeah. It's crazy. Too many people telling you that that's the only way.
Yeah.
They keep telling you that that's the only way. That's the only way. Yeah. Forget about academics. Academics is this and that. Especially when the academics is frustrating you.
Yeah.
So, like I said, the lesson learned. There are a lot of lessons learned. Like, just believe in your partner.
Yeah.
You guys should try as much as possible. The husband and wife should try as much as possible to understand each other. Even though if the partner is doing something, you know, just you are not there. Assumption sometimes, even though the person, just try and understand each other, like we know our end goal, so you should try and that's just it. Like I can continue to start saying, I don't want to give examples. I don't want to give examples of what people like I've said, but I've given illustration. Like, do you know what he's doing there? Do you know what he's doing
seriously
there? Like
what I even heard in Germany. Hey,
do you know what? Why don't you just move ahead? Why don't you just like I said, they keep telling you story of this, story of that, story of. But the most important thing is you know what you want. I know people that were apart for like 5 years, 6 years, and they made it work.
Yes,
make it work. So sometimes just think about the positive aspect. Think about the long-term goal, not what people are saying. Try not to get if you don't get intimidated with what people say, it's going to help a lot. Like if you are the type that get moved with what people say, like what you see online, social media, you get moved by stories, I'm telling you, you're gonna have issues.
Yeah.
So, like I said, another thing, believe in God, irrespective of your religion or whatsoever. That if God can bring both of you together, it's going to make things work.
Yeah. That's very true. That's very true. Communication, trust, like I said, believe in God. Yes, I have faith in God that okay, it might don't calculate the days, because the days go by very fast. Who would have thought that we are past for 25 months? That's 2 years and a month. It was at the point it felt like okay, yeah, but thinking back now, 25 months was a long time. A lot of things that people were saying that you should get married. Someone that I was speaking to was asking me that why did I declare married in Germany? That I could have as well just given my child to someone else to sign for me, and my child will have documents, because Germany, there's no documentation by birth. There's no residency by birth for a child. So they're like, that my child can be a permanent residency or a permanent resident, then I would also be affected in the long run. Then I would also, extend it to him later, and a lot of stuff. Even at the point, I also understand that in the US, like I said, one of the major ways to get a document is to get married to somebody. I was hardly telling him after a while that he should get married, that maybe let's end this thing, because the academics was already frustrating him over there. His supervisor, let us know, his supervisor was frustrating him over there. I was like, okay, maybe you shouldn't get married to somebody. You are in the country, I am not there. Get married to somebody, then that's what a lot of people do it, and it works for them anyway. That get married to somebody, 5 years or 6 years time, I will also get married. You cannot leave me waiting for 5 years. I will get married to somebody else after I will come back again, And it was like, nah, that is not, in his agenda. That's not in his plan. That, he just got married. He has not even enjoyed the first marriage. Then he wants to jump into another one, and that's where it comes down to trusting or having faith in the Lord. Know God, have the fear of God ahead. That way, that a whole lot. It was when we came together, eventually, that we used to share all of these things, that see what somebody said today and just laugh about it, just laugh about it. Then when we came together, that's when we started sharing the crazy things that people, especially to him, because he is the guy, right? Crazy that people were telling him in the US. Unbelievable. People that are his friends, that I know, that I like, this person, you have sense. They don't have sense. Con. Anyway, next question. So now that we are living together, what do you think are our long-term goals now? Is there a possibility? I know that you still want to pursue because he had to leave the family was more important to him, right? So he had to, take a leave of absence from his PhD. I think he has used 2 years. He used 2 years, so I think he has 2 more years. So he took a leave of absence from there. So what is the long-term goal? Are you still going to pursue it? Are you still going back to the US? Are you still leaving me here, or are we moving together? Or like, what do you think is your overall plan? Our future plan now.
Okay. Talking about future plan. Personally, I don't have any agenda of going back to PhD for now.
Okay.
For now, sometimes I think it's because of the mentality we have in Nigeria. Maybe it's because of the environment. Sometimes the environment you were born, the factors that surround you determines what you want to be. Being in Nigeria, someone that loves academic, we always want to have a master's, want to have a PhD, want to have this. But when you come to this other part of the world, you will see that actually one of the people that need this thing, if you don't want to be a lecturer, if you don't want to lecture. Getting a PhD is not as important. I'm not saying PhD is bad. I'm not saying it should be. But when you get a PhD, or when you start a PhD, there are restrictions in jobs. You can't start. There are some jobs that they're not going to take you. Because they feel you're overeducated.
Overqualified.
And once you're doing your PhD, you spend years doing research, getting papers, doing a lot of things. So by the time you finish the PhD, you're already addicted to that act. You're addicted to the act. So you'll be forced to continue doing those things. So so for me, I don't think I'm going to go to the PhD. Personally, I'm working more on professional development in my field, in my surveying field. So, and for my wife too, not what do you call it? What's the question again?
What is our long-term
future plan? So she has been off academics and also off professional degree due to the long-distance relationship family. So I'm sure she'll be able to go back to pursue a goal.
Yeah.
If it's going to be in physics and electronics, if it's going to be in
material science and
if
engineering,
it's going to be in material science, or it's going to be in management.
Management,
way.
yeah.
So for the future, I know the future is very bright. Though there have been challenges, and there are challenges now, and there will also be challenges coming.
That's right.
For me, presently I'm pursuing my professional what they call it, professional achievements in professional surveyor, both in Canada and maybe outside Canada too. So pursuing my professional goal in surveying, both academically, not the research part and practical part, and I'm sure she too should be able to pursue everything. Yeah.
I still intend to get mine, because I also took a leave of absence in Germany. So when I'm ready to go back to my master's, I can just transfer my, what's that thing called, grades? Is it grades, or transfer my transcript or something? And same with him. If he wants to pursue his PhD, then Can you explain to what survey means? Like, what do you do? Basically, like, they want to know, because I'm always talking about, he's on the field, so what do you do?
Well, talking about surveying is a wide, what they call it, it's a very wide profession. Most people hear about survey, they just think it's about someone holding a pole. You see people with an instrument always working outside. Surveying is a broad field, but the major aspects I'm specialized on is the land surveying and the hydrographic surveying. Hydrographic surveying can also be the same thing as ocean mapping. So let me just start with the hydrographic survey. The layman definition is the measurement of the water. So like if you want to go, if you're in an ocean, if you're in a beach, or maybe you're in a large surface of water, is the hydrographic survey, ocean mapper, that tells you how deep. Oh, this place is 10 centimeters, this place is 20 centimeters. It's just like the swimming pool. In a swimming pool, you have different sections with different depths. So looking at the swimming pool, normally you can't determine how deep it is. So I'm just using the swimming pool as an example. You say they're going to tell you 2 centimeters, 3 centimeters, 1 feet, and that. So the function of what the hydrographic surveyor does is that any water body around the world, they are the one that tells you how deep it is. Water. That's just the layman definition. It's why it's quite complicated, So that's like the hydrographic survey. And the land surveying is just about measurement of land. If you want to buy a property, maybe you're buying a house, you need to know the extents. You need to know which position belongs to you. This is my position, this is my position. So that in a situation whereby you want to develop your land, maybe you want to add something else, you don't build encroach into the neighbor or someone's land. And land dispute in Canada, in abroad, I don't know about in Canada and United States, is a big issue. A centimeter, if you take a centimeter to the next person's property, is a big issue. You're going to spend a lot of money, getting lawyer. So the best thing is for you to just do the main thing diligently. And another thing is that talking about construction, if you want to construct anything, the land surveyor is the first person that goes to the site, bridge, building, everything. That's one that's going to tell you this is where the position is meant to be, this is where the position is meant to be, and every other thing, bridges, anything you want to do, construction generally. So if you want to build bridges, if you want to build house, they are the first person that's going to tell you, and they're also the last person that's going to tell you, because after you build it, they need to inspect maybe all what you've done is perfect. It's quite deep. I can't go into the GIS parts and the drone pilots and everything part, but I just give you the water part, the hydrographic. So, but me personally, I'm a land surveyor and a hydrographic surveyor, so I do both on the water and on the land included.
Now you will understand why somebody went to do PhD. They know what they are doing. But this video has moved from our life now to lecture. But at least I understand better. So because I'm always asking them questions about it, like, what are you people doing? What are you people doing? But yeah, so we've come to the end of this video. I hope you guys, enjoyed having my husband Olalekan here, and he's going to be here more often soon. Because like he's speaking about his career. He's helped a lot of his friends come to Canada, and that's the truth. So if you have anybody that wants to come to Canada for land survey, come and pay us. It's not free. come and pay us. Anyway, that's, I mean, we don't have strength for people. But anyway, we've come to the end of this video. Thank you guys for watching, and I hope this video was as interesting as, you know, we thought it was going to be. Please subscribe, share, like, you know, do all that good stuff. Bye for now.